Hello, this is Killa Champloo here reviewing Sakamoto Days chapter 195, titled, I Know. The chapter starts 30 minutes ago as we see the B-plot of chapter 193 finish out. Torres confronts Heisuke and Atari saying he needs his horse racing ticket read. Heisuke asks who he is and Torres gives him that look. Also, side note, Atari's bodyguard next to Heisuke is looking very NPC-ish. Very disposable. We cut to an earlier point in time, so like a flashback within a flashback, of Mr. Oki, the head of the order, telling Torres to go to the JA prison and retrieve Atari. Torres doesn't think there's any need, because why wouldn't the prison that houses thousands of the most dangerous criminals be safe? Dumb moment. Oki explains the situation and Torres doesn't believe it, saying even when he draws great fortune at the shrine, he doesn't win any races. Wow, this dude has tried everything. Low-key, he's mentally stronger than all of us, right? We all would have offed ourselves if we approached even half of this debt. Oki says that her power is beyond human comprehension and that she could be a weapon as strong as Takamura. The GOAT! Yeah, this glaze would have made us feel something a few chapters back before Atari let us know she lost all her juice. Now the audience is just looking at that comment thinking, who's gonna tell, bro? Anyways, Heisuke got dropped! Oh, and the bodyguard too. But this panel had me in distress when I first read it because I thought Heisuke would have put up a good fight at least. I mean, he's low-key order level, right? Then I realized all he had was a pistol with somebody to protect. Two people to protect, my fault. Torres calls this fortune-telling stuff a bunch of baloney and says that relying on fortune-telling is how you lose out on the big ones. This man has no business dropping quotes on us like that. I rebuke his current financial situation. Heisuke is still kicking and tells Torres to stop because they've used her up and she's all out of luck. This probably would have worked on anyone else, but Torres didn't care about this bullshit to begin with and is just doing his job. He simply states that people can't choose how they live, and he and Atari are just playing with the hands they're dealt. You just gotta keep gambling. This guy needs to put the dice down. All of a sudden, they hear a creak in the ceiling, and it's Sakamoto! Funny how they were just going rounds with each other, and now he's here to smack him again. Well, smack him and narrowly avoid death again. Heisuke asks why he came there, and Sakamoto states that he got an emergency signal from Shin's name tag. This was when he was back at the store, and they used the GPS feature to find him. Atari looks at the name tag like, it really was lucky, and damn straight, how did he even send off an emergency signal? And why now? Shin and Heisuke have been fighting in this prison for a minute now. Literally the whole reason they went there in the first place was to train. Sakamoto asks where Shin is, and Heisuke is like, oh yeah, Shin's talking about he's about to quit the store and go back to being an assassin. He begs Sakamoto to bring him back. The useless bodyguard begs him to stay there and do the opposite because there will be nobody left to protect Atari. Are we sure about that? And Torres gets up saying, yeah, go ahead. Just know if you do, I'm killing Heisuke and the bodyguard, and I'm taking Atari. Are we sure about that? Sakamoto looks at Heisuke and tells him to hold down the fort for about 10 minutes, giving him his sniper rifle and Pisuke, his little birdie. Atari notices that Pisuke and Heisuke are lucky items for each other. That's tough as shit. And she says that she can sense a great deal of aura and security coming from the two. Yeah, I'm so hyped. Torres doesn't believe it, and he says that thinking Heisuke can hold him back for 10 minutes is a crazy gamble. Sakamoto states that it's not a gamble, it's a sure thing, and he trusts his friends. Peak cinema. We cut to a first-person angle of Sakamoto running to Shin. The manga does so much cool camera work and action visuals, I am genuinely concerned that the anime won't be able to do it justice. I'm praying Mappa gets the rights after this first season, or sign Saru, them boys did phenomenal this year with Dandadan. Sakamoto catches up to Shin in time, remember? Because Shin was hesitating to kill Tenkyu while crying about not being the type to hesitate. This is exactly where we left off last week. Shin is surprised to see Sakamoto there, and Sakamoto gives him back his name tag. Honestly, if I was Shin, I'd be so concerned. I'd be thinking that shit didn't work, Atari died, and Sakamoto just picked it off randomly on the ground on his way in. Sakamoto tells him that they're leaving as he says to Shin that this isn't where he belongs. Tenkyu starts coughing. Left eye still closed, by the way. That shit might be gone for real, y'all. He starts convulsing, and Sakamoto moves Shin off of him to check his vitals. Apparently, Shin punctured Tenkyu's lungs last chapter when he speed blitzed him. Sakamoto states that they have to compress the wound to keep him from dying, and there's a work belt under the pipes near close by. Shin stands on business and says that Tenkyu needs to die because he was going to go after his wife and Hana. Sakamoto's alarmed, but he cools down and says that for Shin's sake, he won't let him become a murderer. Shin starts breaking down, saying that Sakamoto and the others have the wrong impression of him, saying that he is in fact not a good person. Sakamoto steps over to him and reassures him that he knows what type of person he is. Okay, is anyone going to get that work belt? No rush though, I mean, it's only Tenkyu. Okay, so we're getting a flashback and probably some more dialogue afterwards. Okay. Thoughts and prayers, of course, for Tenkyu, I guess. Sakamoto's not a doctor anyway. I think he'll be fine if we just leave him there. Flashback starts with Sakamoto being hired by some group, probably an organized crime affiliate of some sort. Sakamoto notices a kid tied up, and the guy next to him explains that they caught him snooping around. This kid is a 13-year-old Shin, and they assume he's working for someone, but I doubt it. Overall, this is a great chapter, and I really can't wait to see Heisuke hold his own in the next upcoming chapters against Torres. It seems most of the focus will be on Shin's backstory to conclude the arc, so we'll probably only get about half a chapter's worth of content from this interaction. That's good enough for me, as long as they glaze Heisuke. I predict that Shin's backstory will negatively portray him, since before Sakamoto, he was fine with straight up killing people. However, I think it will highlight a moment where Shin shows his true nature deep down and becomes a hero, at least for an instant. I also think that we'll get a little backstory on Shin's ties to Alkmaar, just a little bit. Anyways, that's all for Sakamoto Days chapter 195. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe because I plan on producing a whole bunch more content. I'm just getting started. This is Killa Champloo, taking my exit.